So you're telling me that New York Attorney General Letitia James got indicted yesterday for banking fraud, which are the same charges that she was trying to put Donald Trump last year? I'm totally confused. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Military Insider. Today we're going to break this down. Letitia James got indicted yesterday for banking fraud. In case you don't know, she indicted Donald Trump last year in the state of New York for the same thing. Yes. Make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe button, really help the channel out, and let's unpack this. Here you go. This is the tweet, the post she put last year on X saying, when powerful people cheat to get better loans, it comes at the expense of hardworking people. Everyday Americans cannot lie to bank to get a mortgage. And if they did, our government would throw the book at them. There simply cannot be different rules for different people. All right, so I had to ask my friend ChatGPT about this specific post from Attorney General James in regards what she was referring to. And believe it or not, she was referring to Donald Trump and others in similar situations, accusing powerful people of lying or misrepresenting facts to banks for mortgages, loans, so they can get more favorable terms, while ordinary people would be harshly penalized for the same behavior. In fact, that quote was part of a statement after a court ruling in her civil fraud case against Trump. She criticized him for allegedly inflating his net worth and using cheating tactics to get better loan terms. Okay, so there's two complete different things here. One is the banking fraud, and then the other part belongs to the IRS when you inflate your net worth to cheat tactics to get better loan terms. But now let's hear Attorney General Letitia James herself, what she had to say about her indictment.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless.
I mean, they're not baseless. We'll get over her charges in a few minutes. Let's continue hearing what she had to say about this. Because, I mean, she's been indicted for the same charges she put against Donald Trump last year.
And the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country.
I mean, nobody's above the law, okay? No one should be above the law, either Republican or Democrat. I want to read you guys on the comments. Make sure you put your comment. I want to see your reaction on this. And let's start a debate, okay?
This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics.
Come on, guys. I mean, I'm not in favor of any party, the Democrat or Republican, but facts are the facts. These people have been trying to get Donald Trump on any cases. So of course they're gonna use the government agency, and they're gonna use everything they can on their power to get the politics involved and their enemies, political enemies that were against them. Okay, so
Judges have
It goes for
upheld
both
the trial
sides.
court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his two sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
All right, it was a good speech. It was a good statement from her. Now let's take a look at her actual charges. Okay, grand jury indicts New York Attorney General Letitia James on bank fraud charges in Virginia federal court. James successfully won a civil case last year against President Donald Trump over allegation of faulty business practices. All right, let's see what we got here.
New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted on criminal bank fraud charges. James is being accused of having falsified records to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms.
There you go. To receive favorable loan terms. All right, let me go back one. All right, let's see what we got here. A federal grand jury in Virginia has indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James on charges of bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan, said James faces up to 30 years in prison per count, up to a $1 million fine on each count, and forfeiture if she's convicted. No one is above the law. The charges are alleged, and this case represent intentional criminal acts and tremendous breaches of the public trust, Halligan said. The facts and the law in this case are clear, and we will continue following them to ensure that justice is served. In a statement, James said the charges were part of President Donald Trump's effort to impose political retribution at any cost. That's it right there. Let's keep reading. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal, not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principle of our country, James said. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. That's pretty much what she said on her statement live last night. Now, let's take a look here at the tweet that I was talking to you earlier today. It says, Letitia James' own words come back to haunt her after federal bank fraud charges filed. All right, let's see what we got here.
Federal grand jury in Virginia has indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James on criminal charges after an investigation by the Department of Justice.
Chanley Painter has the details. Good morning, Chanley.
Hey, good morning. So New York Attorney General Letitia James facing federal mortgage fraud charges after prosecutors say she falsely claimed a home in Virginia as her second residence while using it as a rental.
So he was claiming a residence in Virginia as her primary residence while using it as a rental property. I'm pretty sure that that's fraud and that's against the law. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, but I'm pretty sure that's against the law, okay? Because if I own a house in whatever state and then I try to buy another house in another state, if I tell them that's going to be my primary residence, in fact it's not going to be my primary residence, I'm pretty sure I'm committing fraud, okay? So let's get the facts straight.
Property, a federal grand jury finding that she was then able to obtain more optimal loan terms. Well, James now faces a 2-count indictment, including 1 count of bank fraud and 1 count of making false statements to a financial institution. Each count carries a potential sentence of up to 30 years in prison and up to $1 million in fine and
30 years in prison and up to $1 million in fine per case.
forfeiture.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization.
This is the same statement I showed you guys in the beginning of this video.
These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump organization.
Critics of President Trump say he called on the Justice Department to bring charges against James as retribution for previous lawsuits she brought against the commander-in-chief during his first term, something that those in the administration and federal prosecutors, of course, deny. The U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia say this, quote, "No one is above the law. The charges as alleged in this case represent intentional criminal acts and tremendous breaches of the public's trust. The facts and the law in this case are clear, and we will continue following them to ensure that justice is served." James is set to be arraigned on October 24th. Guys, back to you.
On October 24th, she's going to be arraigned. So we'll see. We'll stay in touch and follow this case.
Say untruths to banks. Thanks so much. And
hold on.
You really can't talk about weaponization when you have a person that campaigned on getting Donald Trump and then did it once they became the attorney general. I just don't have the appetite.
I mean, he got some straight facts right there.
She would sit in the court, kick off her shoes, and just watch the whole trial every single day.
I mean, that's pretty much what we have so far right now. We have to wait to the end of the month for her to be arraigned, and then we'll go from there. But let me know in the comments. I want to make sure, I want to know what you guys' opinion or stand on this. I want to see your point of view. Let's start a debate. Do you think this is a political persecution or is the right thing to do? Fraud is fraud. Nobody's above the law. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Really help the channel out, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe.